Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, welcome to another edition of me roasting somebody for an odd amount of minutes. Now, today's subject, today's peoples, a bunch of peoples, a lot of peoples, Trump supporters. Y'all say some dumb things and then you think people are going to understand it at the end of the day, but I'm like, no, I don't understand it. But you're gonna have to say this in a much more logical like term for me to understand, because when you guys say certain things and y'all believe it, like y'all like actually say it like with your chest, like you guys actually believe the things that you say. And that's what I'm more so be talking on in this episode. So I'm pretty sure everybody remembers when the Trump supporters, they stormed the Capitol because Trump was losing, or they knew that he was going to lose. And they thought out of anger, we should just pretty much just break crimes. Like that's what we should do. The smart thing that Trump supporters decided to do, storm the Capitol, something that they've never done before. That situation definitely went in their favor. Like, yes, there was people that did die that day, which is sad, and may those people rest in peace. But that situation could have been so much more worse. Like, imagine if people was truthfully, like, honest with their actions towards Trump supporters. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people at the Capitol that day, they definitely, there would have been more than just a few shots that went off that day. I don't know how many Trump supporters died that day, but I'm like, that should be to me, I'm like, that should be a clear reason why you shouldn't be supporting Trump. Because I'm like, this man set y'all up to get killed. Like, you ain't seen him storm the Capitol, so why are you guys storming the Capitol? But that's my thing. I'm like, hey, yo, if the person that's telling me to storm the Capitol, if they're not doing it, I'm not doing it. I would have went, if I was a Trump supporter, I would have gotten my Uber and went right back to my house or wherever I was staying there. But I'm like, nah, if that man ain't doing it, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to put my life in danger just so this man can recount the votes. Like, fam, you lost. You lost. Period. There ain't no coming back from that. You really lost now. I'm like, fam, then months done passed by, like you done for, okay? So, but anyways, so the person I wanted to talk on was one of the Trump supporters that stormed the Capitol. So it was the Trump supporter that had his feet kicked up in Nancy Pelosi's office. That guy. So recently, he was in court. I guess they asked him like, why are you viewing yourself less of a threat than others, or why shouldn't you be viewed as a threat? His response to it was because instead of calling Nancy Pelosi the B word, like the, I guess, proper way of spelling it, which is like BITCH, he spelled it BIATCH or something like that. So he added an A in front of it, and that's overall why he shouldn't be viewed as a threat, because he called her a slang term for the B word. I'm like, fam, that's when I kind of wish I was a judge. Like, that's when I kind of wish I was in college, became like a judge of some sort. I wish I was working that case, because I definitely would have looked at him and just been like, that's your final answer? That's what you want to say? Okay, well, here's my response. Like, I feel like I probably would have got fired as a judge, because I'm like, if people are going to come in there and say dumb things like that, I'm like, fam, this ain't Judge Judy. Don't come in here and say dumb things like that. Like, no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call for like a little 20-minute recess. See, I know my court terms. I know what to say in there. So I'm like, I'm going to give you a 20-minute recess so you can get your story straight. You're going to come back in here and you're going to say something a little bit smarter than that, because you're an older gentleman. I would imagine that you went through school. I would imagine that you graduated at some degree, okay? It might not have been a smart degree, but you graduated at some degree. But you're going to come back in here and you're going to give me a smarter answer than that. He gave me the same answer. I'm like, go ahead and just go to prison, bro. Because this don't need to drag out any longer. I'm like, you should have did far more worse things in the Capitol. If that's all that you were going to do was just have your feet kicked up, and just have a photo taken of you just so you can come in the courtroom and say something like, fam, you should have at least broken a window, set something on fire, did something. Like, you did that, and then you came in like, what did you? Oh my God! I'm like, yeah, just get out of my courtroom. And I'm like, next Trump supporter. I'm like, you better. I'm like, in the next Trump supporter, you better have your story straight. You better say something smart, because if not, everybody's going to prison. All Trump supporters, next Trump supporters. So I'm like, unless you don't want your friends to go to prison, the next Trump supporter that come in this courtroom, they better say something smart. All right, but the reason why I say that that man is dumb and all Trump supporters are dumb, well, for one, you guys showed up there. My thing is that if you're going to compare, like what was going on last year, like during the looting and the rioting and all that stuff, you, if you guys are gonna, because my thing is like, okay, the rioting, the looting, all of that, yes, that is illegal, 100%. Okay, looting, because I remember all that stuff. I remember when it was going down in Seattle, and that was crazy. Like seeing all the different. There is the one Nordstrom's that was there. I worked like down the street from that Nordstrom's to see that street, because I walked down that street so many different times, and because of the pandemic, I ended up losing my job. But to see like that was like the last. Well, actually, no, I take that back. It wasn't the last time I seen that street, because it wasn't too long ago when I was out in Seattle. But anyways, seeing that street in that state, like where cop cars is like, like being burnt, windows is being broken, like stores is getting looted for clothes and all that stuff. I even said then that stuff ain't got nothing to do with the George Floyd protesting. At first it was a protest, but then people started going crazy. People started getting mad. You guys are mad at the fact because an orange man can no longer be in office. Ain't nobody died. There's a man that had died. Like, you can't compare the George Floyd riots and protesting and all of that stuff to the Capitol storming. Like, my thing is like riots and all of that stuff, that's been going on for the longest. People storming places, that's been going on for a long time too. But if at the end of the day, if I was to riot, storm, it's gonna be for a legitimate reason. But I never would go out and do some stuff like that. But if I did, it probably would be for George Floyd or all the other black men that's passed in the recent times. I'm doing it for a reason. You guys are doing it because y'all don't know how to hold an L. Like, you cannot compare what people was doing last year for George Floyd to, and at the end of the day, the only thing that really did matter was the protesting. The looting and the rioting, I didn't care for that. That was something that I wouldn't have been a part of. But if it had just been walking down the street, protesting, like overall letting people know, like, hey, my life matters, that's what I'm going to do. That's what people should have been doing. But you got your people out there where they're like, hey, you know what? Since we're already out here, cops are running down the street scared out of their minds, I'm just gonna bust into this building and just start stealing stuff. No, that's not me. That's not me at all. You guys, on the other hand, y'all did the same, like, all of you guys just all did the same thing all at once. Like, yes, there was, and my thing was like, okay, if you guys would have been protesting, I'm like, okay, protest. It's still dumb, because I'm like, the man, you can't protest some stuff like that. Excuse me. The man is overall, like, the votes, like, were already counted. The man was going to be gone. So overall, like, y'all couldn't have did nothing with that. You guys got mad because, he lost. My thing is like, he didn't lose his life. It wasn't like, he was in danger of some sorts. This is something that's been going on for centuries, where a president will overall be voted out, okay? And then the next president will have to take his role. How is that being compared? How is that even a comparison to a black man getting killed? Like, you guys sit down and think about that. But no, you guys don't want to sit down and think about. That's the thing with Trump supporters. They don't think. They say and do stuff, and they just do not think under any circumstances. And I'm like, man, the times where I've gotten into it with Trump supporters, they've always have said some dumb stuff. Like, I remember when he originally got into office, there's this one Trump supporter. That man was like, whoever it was, I don't know if it was a kid, man, whoever it was, but they were trying to force me to say that I support Trump. And I'm like, bruh, why would I come out? It's not going to be the truth. Okay, like, yeah, anybody can say that they support Trump. Anybody can say that, but is it truthful? Are they telling the truth? Do they mean it? No. If I were to do a lie detector test, that thing will break because I will never in my life. The one time it probably wouldn't break because the only thing that I support Trump in was when he was in wrestling. I don't even. The funny thing about it is that they don't even acknowledge Donald Trump in wrestling anymore. So that's where it's like you got that, like, you have it where some wrestlers, yes, they voted for him and stuff, but other than that, Vince McMahon, he must have had to sign off or, for whatever, and he was just like, hey, this man no longer being mentioned in WWE. Because I'm like, I can't even remember the last time they mentioned him in wrestling. So I'm like, especially in his, I think probably prior before when he wasn't all in this like political, and that's why it's like you gotta ask a lot of Trump supporters, like, let's go back some years, right? Let's go back like 10 years when Trump in office wasn't even a thing. I feel like I can ask any of my former like friends, people I went to school with, because there are some like friends I went to school with that they made it public, they let everybody know across social media that they're Trump supporters. But that's one thing I would like to like do is go back in time and ask them, like, how do you feel about Trump being in office? I'm pretty sure a lot of them probably wouldn't even be thinking along those lines. They're just like, they probably just be like, oh, I don't care, or they'll say something. It's like not something that they would say today. But I'm like, a lot of the Trump supporters, I feel like overall just supported him for the hype. That was it. Or that they're racist. One of the two. Hype or racism. You choose. But I'm like, either way is dumb. Like, it ain't truthful support. It's not like any other president that then, became president or anything. And it's like, and there's at times where there's presidents that was in office that was racist and they were doing things. And you know what? Somebody else was being supported. So I'm like, when you have that truthful, honest support, and I know people are going to probably be trying to compare like Joe Biden. I'm like, no, we voted for Joe Biden because we just didn't want Trump in office. That man was going to get us killed. There was going to probably be a day where, and hey, I'm not even going to I'm even going to hold all of that on Trump, because there might be a day where another president, it might be Joe Biden, it might put, who knows, okay, who knows what president will get into office and put our lives at risk. But Trump, on the other hand, he turned people against people. My thing is like, there's probably people, friends I went to school with, where I was hanging out with them, sharing laughs with them, cool with them. I can't even like talk with them now. It's always like an argument. So I'm like, no. I'm like, man, it's crazy like how much he's turned people against like their friends, their family, like it's crazy. It's very crazy. But anyways, but no, like talking back on that Trump supporter though, like that's overall who I was talking on. But yeah, I was like, that guy, I'm like, you should have just stayed home that day, bruh. You should have just stayed home. Just let that whole situation alone, because you set yourself up for failure that day. Like, you did. Like, ain't no way out of that. You set yourself up for failure. But if you let him tell it, he like, oh, I did something good that day. I did, I follow. I'm like, bruh. Because my thing is like, okay, Trump goes out and says like, oh, we need to storm this place, or we need to riot, or we need to do this, we need to do that. He can't really do that because he got shut down from all social media platforms. That was the funniest thing ever, seeing that man literally like, and I don't think there's any other place that you can go on. Maybe he has like a website or something where he can go on there and say how he feels about things, but nope. I'm like, dang, that's good. Trump is 6'3". Wow. I'm like, man, you should have been a basketball player. It's like you out here. Oh, there's like, okay, let's open up. They say he's on these platforms. Oh, he's on he's able to have a Facebook account. Huh. That's crazy. So he is on Facebook. He is on YouTube. Bruh, how he have more subscribers than me? That's kind of upsetting. Y'all messed up for that. There's like why is all his accounts like they're here, but it's like he can't tweet anything. Or it's like he hasn't tweeted. He's even on back on Instagram. That is some crazy stuff. So it's like all his things is still here, but like can he post on them? That's the question. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. But I know if he does, then yeah, it's like look what happened when he posted and was telling people to do this, or he was like whatchamacallit, he was like on the podium telling his supporters to go out and storm the Capitol, and look how that turned out, got people killed. So I'm like, and at the end of the day, they don't want to admit to that. They don't want to lay out the facts and things. They're all like, nope, I support Trump, that's all that matters. I'm like, yeah, look how far that got you. Absolutely nowhere. It's like y'all still at the same spot y'all was at before. So yeah, Trump supporters, they just be saying some dumb stuff. I'm like, I feel sorry for you guys, but at the same time, like, I don't. I'm like, that's, y'all choose to think along those lines, be my guest, all right? So anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 31 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at TMossBoss. And until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.